burdensome payment of loan, burdensome payment of bailout, then it's not relevant at all. Because the problem of burdensome payment of loan or bailout isn't exclusive because of the existence of multiple currency. It is simply a problem of management of economy. It is simply a problem of management of debt. And this is the reason why in the status quo we are having what is called as financial restructuring, commitment to cut expenditures. All of that is to make sure that that loan that Kusna talks about in her earlier part of speech does not become that burdensome. But even if it's that burdensome, we think in the end, single currency isn't the only solutions. Things like renegotiation of deadline is a common procedures when you are applying for loan. So we don't see the benefit of having single currency is that exclusive in this debate. Second thing that I would like to point out is in regards to the Bangladesh. I admit that being a cheap labor and being paid in lower prices isn't the ideal life to live with, gentlemen. But it is worse on their side, because if you live in a world where there is a single currency, the developed countries no longer has the excessive capacity to be MNC to begin with, no longer has the capacity to open companies all around the world because there is no longer gap between their currency and the developing currency. In their survey house, these laborers isn't even employed to begin with. We say it's better on survey house, even if it's cheap labor, at least they are employed. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two classes in this debate. Firstly, whether or not multiple currencies is good for world economy in terms of stability and in terms of improvement towards the betterment of developing countries. And secondly, how does multiple currency affects crisis management? Let's take a look at the first one, how multiple currency affects the improvement of stability and developing countries. So, opening government opens the debate by saying that multiple currency is simply unfair. She brought you the point of example of the devaluation of yuan. First thing that I would like to clarify, this is not an inherent reason as to why you need to regret multiple currency, because these arguments can only fly under the assumptions that the economy is always that bad. And to be honest, we all, at the same time, we also benefit from having multiple currency. Nevertheless, this is my responses. Firstly, we think no, it's completely fair. It's completely fair because all other countries, despite the fact that there is a devaluation of yuan, still have equal access to alternative economic policies. You can also, for example, devalue your currency to make your goods equally competitive. You also still have to sell your goods or exports in a higher price, but only with a better quality, like what Japan did, as opposed to China, ladies and gentlemen, as Nissan's already pointed out in this debate. Because there is an exit mechanism, that economic policy of devaluations, ladies and gentlemen, assuming the problem is economic devaluations, is still fair. But secondly, opening government never points out why is it unfair. It is simply giving an example with an extracting logic behind that example. I'm going to substantiate the reason behind that devaluation of yuan can be considered as harmful, because there is an external harm toward other countries and Japan. But the problem is that other economic policies also has things like external harm, things like protectionist policies like tariffs and subsidy. And by the way, tariffs and subsidy is still allowed under the WTO under limited criteria if it's in essential services. Or you simply investing in one country can also kill the local market. Or US decision to increase credit interest rate also may kill other countries' judgment. All other economic policy has the possibility of external harm. What I'm trying to point out to you is that if the problem of multiple currency is devaluation of yuan, it is just as worthy as any other economic policy and should not be, excluded from the debate, gentlemen. Moreover, gentlemen, we said what they argue on the subject is that how multiple currency, when it comes to multiple currency, some countries does not take into account the collateral damages. But my response is this: we said that whatever collateral damages that they're talking about, for example, the collateral damages of devaluations, that it entails, it is completely justifiable because world economy in particular, is inherently competitive. This is the reason why you are opening free market. Thus, it is not the fault of the government of China if the government of Indonesia simply not competitive enough to cushion the impact of world economy. If they're talking about is collateral damages, then any other economic, cooperations like free market is something that we should also regrettable because it entails collateral damages. So we don't think collateral damages is even a parameter in this debate. But this is what I would like to point out in my first place. Why we think that having multiple currency is what is fair in this debate. Because Lisa has already stated to you that each country inherently has different conditions. in terms of human resources, in terms of natural resources. Multiple currency acts as a flexibility to accommodate these different needs. If you have bad human resources, for example, and bad natural resources, your exit mechanism is to devaluate your currency. Without the gaps in currency, countries with bad human resources and natural resources cannot even cope up and close the gap of starting point. Moreover, multiple currency creates incentive for well-established countries, like developed countries, to help the developing country and consequently closing the gap in that starting point. Because of the gap between the currency, between dollar and say rupiah, for example, it becomes cheaper from United States for developed countries to come to Indonesia to build infrastructures, to build more goods in facilities in Indonesia, because that cost of building, that cost of investment or infrastructures isn't as costly under Syariah. So in conclusion of the judgment, we think it is fair under Syariah, and moreover, their benefit isn't something that is real because the gap will always be there. It's only exacerbated by single currency oil.
Well, inherent motivations to improve your quality of product is always going to exist in our side of the house. But your devaluation is a shortcut that happens in your
side. The motivation is there. The problem is that these countries may not have the capacity because there is no longer gap that can be the buffer to build those infrastructures. So it's irrelevant. But secondly, on the crisis management. So what we heard is that how there will be no bailout, how there will be no assessments. Firstly, things about assessments completely unfair or completely irrelevant in this debate because it is as if opening government is arguing on our side in multiple currency. There is no economic analyst, there is no market analyst. The reality is that we have market analysts. But here's the thing: we think that crisis management is worse on their side. Firstly, what you have to understand is that currency crisis and its solvency isn't solely contingent on the value of currency. We think crisis, for example, happens because of mismanagement of the country, which is completely irrelevant to their point. But an solvency of crisis is, for example, contingent on the existence of capital and the liquidifications of the economy of the country. This is when it gets worse under Syariah. Because when a country goes down, the other country with the same currency cannot help much. Their money only amounts to the same value with this problematic country. So it's just like a Zimbabwe helping another Zimbabwe. It does not amount to much of help. But conversely, on our Syariah, you say the gap of multiple currency allows countries to provide help by creating bigger liquidity. This is why dollar is helping Zimbabwe. This is why we have IMF and World Bank using dollar. We say India crisis management is better on this Syariah. Thank you.